Good morning, students. On previous session, we learned about array concept in Java. Okay, so let's do a quick revision of our last class and continue on array concept on Java. Okay, array is a data structure that is a Java concept, and it stores a fixed size of sequential collection of elements of the same type. And an array is used to store a collection of data, but it is often more useful to think of an array as a collection of variables of the same type. Means single name of a variable or array type, you can store multiple numbers of data in it. Okay, why use an array? Simple, calculate the exam average, okay, of your 100 number of student. Then we have to in your variables concept, you have to take up to 100 numbers of variables in it, right, to store the each and every student's marks. But if you take a single array to store the all 100 students marks in it, okay, so it is very simple. Okay, so that's the main reason to use the array concept. This is a block diagram of array concept, and obviously the arrays are indexing, that is index start from 0 to 4, and each and every index that should be a value, or each and every index in the it holds a value. Okay, if you wanted to retrieve any value of an array, then you have to put the index number so that we can retrieve a particular data or that value from that index number. Okay, so we construct the array in three different parts. First, we know about the declaration, then how to construct that array, and some initialization part, right? So declaration done by the two steps. First is to declare a reference of an array, then create an array using the new operator. Okay, here is the syntax. First you have to write the type, then array name with a square bracket, then equals to new type, and inside the square bracket, it's a size. Okay, you have to give the size of your array. Or this is the another type, you can define in this way also. Okay, here it is the examples. Here I take marks as an array of the size of 50. Okay, and whatever your type, that is the int, new int. So the marks array store what integer type of data in it. Okay, so these are all the preferred way to declare a array. Okay, these are also possible, but the preferred way are the above are. Okay, these three above are the preferred way to declare an array. Okay, so what are the advantages? That is the code optimization. The main advantage, it makes the code optimized. We can retrieve or sort the data efficiently. Okay, and also there is a random access is my advantages, that is we can get any data located at any index, at an index position. Okay, means you can retrieve any data from the array using your index number. Okay, if the array size is let's take here it is my marks array. Okay, of size of 50. Okay, then if you want to retrieve the index number of 25, then the data will be returned. Okay, if you want to return mark of in the inside your square parenthesis, you have to put the what index number. Okay, so that the value will be retrieved. Okay, so it is the random access to your what array. And the main disadvantage of the array, that is the size limit, that we can store only the fixed size of an element in the array. It does not grow its size at your runtime. Okay, means if you already define the size of your array is up to 50, then at the runtime we can't store more than 50 numbers of data. Okay, if we have 51 number of data, then one exceeded, so that size is not increased automatically. Okay, that is our disadvantage in the array. Okay, So here I took some example to create the array concept. That is, first I define the data type int, square bracket of num equals to new int of size of 5. Then here I initialize, that is num of 0, that means 0 is my index number. Okay, means in num array of your 0 position 5 value is stored. Okay, or 5 data. Num of 1 10, num of 2 is equals to 20, like that. Means if the array is this one, okay, this is my 0 position, 1 2 3 4. Okay, this is up to 4 because size is 5. Okay, the size is ultimately 0, n minus 1 means size minus 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, this is not it. Okay, so first value is 5, and here it is 10, 20, 12, or 32. Okay, this is the array initialization. Okay, also you can initialize the array using the curly braces. Okay, uh, or this is done also by the without using the new operator. Okay, how it is possible? Here it is, int of your square bracket number is my array is equal to, here I start the curly braces, then write down your values are in it, that is 5, 10, 20, 12, and 32. Okay, then curly braces close and then semicolon. Okay, this is also possible to initialize array at a single line. Okay, so this is all about the initialization of your array. Okay, then how we access the array elements? So we have how to access the we have to access the array element by using your index number. Okay, that is the syntax, that is array name, then you inside your square bracket we have to put the index number in it. Okay, so according to that index number we retrieve the data. For example, this is my array up to size is 10. Okay, that is the array length is 10. Then if we want to retrieve the 8 position, then we have to write the array name inside the square bracket, have to put the 8 index number, then whatever the value will be, it is written. Okay, so this is all our accessing array elements. Okay, okay, let's do a quick program practice. Here this is our previous program, right? The class is my array, and here I provide total mark is my method name. Okay, then here I declare a student array. Okay, int of square bracket student, this means student is a array type variable. Then new int of size is my 5. Okay, then here I store all the data inside it. Okay, means student number of 0, index of 1 2 3 4, like this. Okay, then here I print the value of your student 3, means here I access the student 3 data from my student array. Okay, also you can do this by user input. You can do, means just change the program, write a program to input 5 students total marks. Okay, let's see how to do that. Okay, so here let's take a scanner class object. So here I import java util dot scanner. Okay, then here I create a scanner object, that is sc equals to new scanner system dot in. Okay, now we have to input to the array. Okay, that is the user input, right? So how to do that? Simple, we use the for loop. Okay, here int I is equals to 0, I is less than 5, because my array size is 5, so that is I less than 5, and then I plus plus. Okay, here I start the curly braces, then here I write down a printing statement, system dot out dot println, enter. Okay, here I write down concatenate with I value, so that enter first student, second student, like that. Okay, so here enter one, or like this, enter total marks of student. Okay, here I concatenate with I value. Okay, that's it. Okay, now we have to use the scanner method to input the data. Where to store the data? That is student area. Okay, so here student of I. Why I given I? Because I is my index number. Okay, means in student of I means first time, if the loop is started, then the student of 0, then student of 2, like that. Okay, so equals to scanner object, that is sc dot next, int is my method name. Okay, that's it. Okay, so in this way we can what, input the 5 numbers of student total mark into my student array. Okay, let's print the whatever the total mark from student 3 is. Okay, so here is the printing statement, the total mark of student 3 is student of 3. Okay, so let's compile the program. It's means student 3, student 4, compile it. Okay, let's now run the program. This is my array, create an object of your array, now call the total method. Okay, so here enter the total marks of student 0. 0 why? Because we start the index number 0, so let's take the student 0 is 543. Then what is the total number for student 1? That is 434, like that 456, like that 654, and the last one 546. Okay, so here it is, the total mark of student 4 is 654. Why? Because this is one, the printing is wrong, right? That is the student number 3 is, that's one, the correct one. So here it is, student 3. Okay, again let's run the program. So first student's mark is 546, second student 765, let it be 657, 453. Okay, here it is, the total mark of student 3 is 453, right? So in this way you can use the for loop to input an array. If you want to display all the data from the array, that is in the similar way, just put the for loop, and inside the for loop you have the printing statement with your array index. Okay, how to do that? Let's see. Here it is, the printing the array. Okay, printing the array. So let's omit this line. Again I start the for loop. Here int I is equals to 0 to 5, and here it is I plus plus, started the curly braces. This is the system out dot println, total mark of student is, okay, here I put the array, that is our array is student of what, I, okay, then semicolon. So in this way we can let's say concatenate with student I, that's it. Okay, so in this way you can print the array or printing the whole array. Okay, let's compile the program again and run the program. Take 5 marks. Okay, here it is, total 5 numbers of students, total marks are displayed. Okay, so this is all about the array. Okay, you already know how to create or declare an array, how to access the array using its index number, how to store in it, okay, and how to print whole array using your for loop. Okay, there is also another loop or in Java that is called as your for each loop. Okay, this is mainly used to access your array element. Okay, let's see what it says. So for each loop in Java, for each loop prints the array elements one by one. Okay, it holds an array element in a variable, then it executes the body of the loop. Okay, and how it is very simple or how it is simplify the for loop. Okay, to use the array, let's see its syntax. First is the for loop, then your data type. This is the optional thing. If you declare a variable inside your for loop, then you have to put the data type, then your variable, like we did earlier on this session. Okay, or if the variable is declared earlier, then you don't have to need to write the data type. Directly you put the variable, then colon your array name. Okay, whatever the array name is. Okay, then curly braces started and the body of the loop, whatever the body of the loop, and then curly braces end. That's it. Okay, if you see the example here, here I take an integer array of ARR and it's the store the value 1235. Okay, 4 values in it. Okay, so here is the for loop, that is for int I. Okay, I is my variable, is colon of ARR. So what is it does? The first value, here it is the curly braces started. Okay, here it is, start the curly braces. Okay, so when first element first iteration, okay, the array's first element store in I value. Okay, in the second iteration the second array element store in I value, and similarly all the array will be traversed. Okay, and here I put the system out dot println, the I means I is my what, variable name. Okay, so whatever the data inside my array, that will be printed. Okay, so let's see or to do a quick program using your for each loop. Okay, here I take the same example, this one, just only instead of for loop I am using for each loop, or you can say it's a enhanced for loop. Okay, enhanced version of your for loop. How to do that? Simple, just give, first I should write here, okay, to display the array. Okay, here is the int, let's say data, that is my variable name. Okay, then start the colon symbol. Okay, then your array name, what is my array name, that is student. Okay, student, that's it. Okay, now in system out dot println total mark of student. Okay, we can't write like this I, because here I did not define any I value. Okay, if you wanna to write I value, then you have to before declare one variable with I is equals to, let's take 1. Okay, and inside the loop here I take plus plus. Okay, now we can do it like this way, and instead of your student of array I have to write the data, this is my variable. Okay, so in the first iteration, the whatever the student array of 0 index data will be stored in your data variable, and that will be displayed. Okay, let's compile the program, and now create the object. Okay, run the method. Here I start. Okay, see here the same data displayed. Total marks of student 1 is 456, 2 is 675, like this. Okay, so this is about the for each loop or your enhanced for loop. Okay, this is used to traverse the array, okay, very easily, and there is no need to put the range, okay, in your array concept. Okay, so just give the variable name, then colon, then your array name. Okay, that's it. Okay, so go to the next slide. Here, that out of bound subscript, or what is about the array out of bound. Okay, so the subscript other than 0 to n minus 1, subscript means the array size. Okay, if the array size is other than 0 to n minus 1, n is my element or having the n number of elements. Okay, that means if the array size is 5, like I declare here, let's have int. Okay, here I write down, here is the square bracket, m is my array equals to, okay, new int, and the size is, let it be, my size is 5. Okay, so what will be done, the if the n minus 1 means the size 0 to what, 4, this is our subscript. Okay, if the subscript is other than 0 to 4 range, okay, then that is called as your what, out of bound subscript. Okay, how, if the if you want to access m of 5, then this is also out of bound. Okay, because the 5 index is not exist in your this array. Okay, if you see the block diagram of this array, here it is the block diagram. Okay, it is the 0 index, 1 2, this is 3, and this one is your 4. Okay, so if you want to access m of 5, then m of 5 index is not there. Okay, so then it gives a out of bound exception. Okay, so here I take the example. Here I declare int a. Okay, a is my array of size, new int of 5. Okay, here it is the size of 5. Then here, if I want to access a of 6, 6 is my index number. Inside your a of 5 size, the array, there is no index number like 6, or there is no subscript. Okay, then this line throws an what, out of bound exception. Okay, similarly if we write a minus 1, that minus 1 index is not possible. Okay, or there is no minus 1 index, so this also done a what, out of bound exception. Okay, so this is said that 0 to n minus 1, okay, means if the subscript other than 0 to n minus 1, then that is called as your what, out of bound. Okay, out of bound subscripts, and if you run the program like this way, then it gives a out of bound exception. Okay, let's go to our Java or BlueJ and see how it work, or what is it. Here, this is the array. Okay, let's omit it. Okay, here the size of the array is 5, that is my student array, and inputting the 5 numbers of marks. Okay, now here it is given the printing an array, that is given a printing statement, that is system dot out dot print ln out of bound. Okay, now here I give the index other than what, 0 to n minus 1, that means 0 to 4. Okay, here I give the, let it be, student of 5. Okay, compile it. Now run the program. Student number 0, let's take 123, 444, 54, 56, sorry, yeah, here it is, give the error. What is the error? Here the array index is out of bound exception. Index 5 is out of bound for the length of 5, because the length is 5 minus 1, n minus 1, that is 4. Okay, so here it gives the what? Array out of bound exception. Similarly, if you see, if I take here a -1 or -2, that is also a out of bound. Okay, let's take some values. See, the same error again thrown, that is the index out of bound. Okay, so this is, if you write any subscript or any index that is not between your 0 to the size -1, then it gives a what? Out of bound exception. So always you have to write or put the given statement or your index, array index, as a correct method. Okay, that is in between the 0 to n minus 1 or the size -1. Okay, so that this exception not occur. Okay, so this is all about the what? Out of bound subscript. Okay, next go to the next slide, that is types of array. Okay, simply there are two types of your array concept are there, that is 1D array or one dimensional array. Another one is your 2D array, or it is called as your also multi-dimensional array. Okay, uh, previously we discussed all about the 1D array, that means one dimensional array. Okay, and 2D array means there is a multi-dimensional, means if this is the block diagram of your 1D array. Okay, this is the block diagram 1D array. And what is the multi-dimensional of array, or what is the two dimensional? This is consist of what? Rows and columns. Okay, this is about the 2D array or multi-dimensional array. Okay, we discuss about your multi-dimensional array and about the memory representation of your array on the next class. Okay, so this is all about the today's session. Hope you all understand the array concept. Okay, if you have any doubts, then you can text me on WhatsApp. Okay, thank you.